That's a nice name. Disco Volante is Italian for flying saucer, and we see at first glance why the Swiss brand Furlan Marri has chosen that name for their latest announcement. The Disco Volante follows classic watches from Vacheron Constantin and many other brands that developed mostly from the 30s to the 60s, watches with an emphasis on slender and elegant forms, sometimes upright in a competition with the question who can make the most streamlined watch. Here, for example, you see one piece from Longines. But let's begin as always with the specifications of the Furlan Marri Disco Volante. That will come with 3 dial colors: Havana, Verde and Celeste. Case diameter here is 38 mm, length lug to lug also 38 due to the characteristic form. Height is 8.95 mm, lug width 20. The watch has a sapphire crystal with 5 layers of anti-reflective coating and 1 extra coating against fingerprinting on the front crystal and the exhibition case back. Movement is the ETA Peugeot 7001 with a power reserve of 42 hours. The construction is waterproof up to 50 meters, comes with 2 leather straps, and the price is indicated with 2,500 Swiss francs, which are around 2,570 euros or 2,812 US dollars. So we're deep in the 40s with very elegant forms and a fine sense for proportions. What you see here is in its elements, not super inventive. You see this layout, the form of the hands, the scales on many vintage watches and on recreations, for example, done by the Japanese brands Kurono Tokyo and Hajime Asaoka Takano. Furlan Marri follows a design dictated by heritage here, but with full focus on detail quality. Because the question always is, can the real watch keep up with the product images? And after seeing and handling several hundreds of watches, I can say with some confidence yes and no. Sometimes they can, sometimes not. In case of Furlan Marri, the quality is there, even under a magnifier. And the reason are collaborations with top-notch watchmakers in Switzerland. So this watch can fascinate with quality and with lume. Note that the form of the hands is also very typical for 30s and 40s watchmaking, but back then without lume. Here we have a fine line of superluminova that creates, together with the other dial elements, a very special night impression. Special is also the crown, integrated as you see it very often with this type of watch. The idea is not to disturb the form, and it offers a very comfortable wearing experience. By the way, the originals from the, let's say, 60s were seldom bigger than 34 mm. This is a big watch for its type. And you see here also very clearly that this is nothing straight from the rack, which adds to the price. And now to the movement. Again, the task was to build slender watches, which was and is easier with a hand-wound movement because you don't need a rotor. This beauty here is the mentioned Peugeot 7001. Here it looks big with that beautiful handmade decoration, but in fact it's a tiny thing with a height of only 2.5 mm. It was used first in 1971 and has the typical slow beat rate of all leads, here 21,600. Next point is the mentioned price. In one of my last videos about Furlan Marri, I told you that I found it almost unbelievable how much the brand offered with a particular model for back then something like 1,500 euros. And my speculation was that they tried to conquer a market segment and then they could raise prices. And I think that's what we see here. But let me add that I find this price normal for the amount of details for the components and the overall design. Alright, the Disco Volante is ready for pre-order and the delivery will take place this September. And with that information, allow me to close this episode. Thank you very much and see you next Monday to Watch of the Week.